Hey everybody, welcome. It is Friday. I still know what day it is. It is day 10. This is our 10th. What are you going to call these, episodes now?
I guess so.
I'm having an episode or something like that here at the Quarantine Cafe. This has been a lot of fun. We're still going to keep doing these things. I'm going to make sure I'm getting heat control in this thing because I see smoke where I don't want it. Because I had this idea of trying to kind of simulate what some of the rest of you may be going through, even as we try and keep our pantry and fridge clean and organized so we don't buy too much, so things don't get cluttered, so we know what we have. And so sometimes you get stuck with some odds and ends. And the worst thing, especially at this time when, going to the grocery store, it's like the movie Bird Box, could literally kill you. So I want to minimize the trips to the store, so being able to make the most out of even just the little scraps that we might be close to throwing away is a very good thing, as Martha Stewart might say. And so what I did was I kind of pulled a few things to simulate, like, what would we have as just random stuff that might not make sense as a dish. And then as I got about 2 or 3 into it, something came to me as an idea. So as I threw this out, how I wanted to put it when I was talking to Wendy, I was like, you guys want to get weird? Let's get weird. And so kind of in rating this, the idea of mole sauce came to me. Because as we'll kind of go through, this dish is rife with substitutions. You can pull anything you have to kind of fit some of these categories in here. So, and this can go on anything. This can go on chicken. I've got some chicken thighs that I desperately needed to cook off that are in the oven right now. It can go on cooked meats. It can go on turkey. It can go on pork, beef, whatever. So we're just going to kind of do, this is by no means, there will be no official recipe for this, because this is going to be something that you could all hopefully emulate given what you have, and I'll try and talk through each ingredient as where we can substitute.
So this is basically a pantry mole.
Pantry mole, that's right. I mean, aside from the onions and garlic, which we have started in here, I don't have anything fresh going on in here. This is just straight random crap that we had floating around that could turn into something delicious.
Now, you worked at Alma for several years, so you made real mole.
About 1.5 years. Yeah, I did make real mole, and I know that the real thing has about 27 ingredients in it, and it took half a day, and it has a big variety of things in here. So I'm trying to kind of streamline that down to what kind of makes a mole, or at least this style of it, because there's a million different kinds of mole you can make. Not all of them are the ones that we kind of first think of, the sauce with the chocolate in it. So I got some spices. This is kind of a pick one or two. I've got a little bit of cumin, which has kind of been a big pantry staple for us. And here's where it comes into pick one dried herb, pick one kind of warming spice. So I've got some dried oregano here because we use that a lot, and I've got some ground cinnamon. If you have nutmeg, if you have cloves, in the herb sense, if you have dried rosemary, if you have dried thyme, any of that would work.
I think usually people have cinnamon in those baking spices.
Yeah. I mean, it could be just a matter of if you're out of it. I mean, don't go to the store and buy any of this stuff, because chances are you probably have you're closer to mole than you think out of your own pantry.
Okay, we've got Kit Lewis in the house.
Hey Kit, now I got to bring the A game. Somebody who's actually had mole and knows what it's all about. So please forgive me for bastardizing this.
Yep, and Marisa Sharp is on the line.
Hey Marisa.
And we also have Lee from DC, and Ben and Dean are back.
All right, good to see everybody. So just looking to get a little bit of toast on these spices. It's just kind of a good technique. Once you put them in, you want them to be kind of dry, or at least the oil that you saute the onions and the garlic in. And once it's fragrant, then we're kind of in for the round of the next things. So let's see. So mole has, it's got some base aromatics and some spices. Then it's got some type of chili. The one that we would make for the real thing has about 4 different types of dried chilies that you would take the seeds out and burn the seeds, toast to they're almost pretty much black, and then cook the chilies till they're crispy. We're going to avoid all of that. I've just got a chipotle. This could be just the random, we use a lot of chipotles around here. You got 1 pepper left. This is not going to make a ton of sauce on us, relatively speaking, but just If you're down to one pepper,
So that was like canned Chipotle, right? That you could just get in the grocery store, right?
Yeah, I just kind of napalm myself here.
A little harsh.
That's right. Yeah.
It's getting in my mouth now.
Yeah, when we would do mole day in the restaurant, you could kind of tell because you'd burn the seeds. Yeah, there we go.
Holy
so we're gonna add some liquid to this. I just found some salsa. Moles have sour things in them. I'm gonna move my hand so you can see. This is just kind of a green tomatillo salsa. You know, we would use green tomatoes, we would use tomatillos and everything, but a lot of us have salsa. If you don't have the green, use the red. Yes. Who cares? This is a desperation thing.
It's what you got.
That's right. And then it's going to have some things along the way that are going to...
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It's very aromatic.
It is aromatic. So it's going to have things along the way that are going to thicken it. So, you would see bread. I just made a piece of toast. This was the butt end, the heel of a loaf of bread that we had. I just put it in the toaster. In that goes. We had, I think, 2 corn tortillas floating around. These are pretty thin anyway, so that would have made like 1.
Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. Can I have your water? Oh my god, this is in real time here. This is live video. Oh my gosh, I'm dying here. Sorry. It's good. No, it's a good, and obviously it smells great.
No, it's one of those that, yeah, you would walk by it and you're like, all right, who's,
Oh yeah.
You're like,
It's an aroma bomb.
So tortillas are going in. If you have tortilla chips, just as well. Crush them up, put them in there.
Got Sharon Parks here saying hi.
Hey,
I wish I could smell this. And I'm like, I don't know.
No, once we added some of the other stuff to it, it's going to mellow it out. And then this was just kind of what we found. You have any of those crappy fried onions that you put on casseroles? You got a little bit of those? That works too. Any kind of, flavorful, bready things that go in.
Everybody has those left over from Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah. You typically also, you see some kind of fruit in a mole. If you were to make like a mole poblano, you might see raisins. The mole negro, which is kind of the original base for that, would have a banana in it. I'm not a huge banana fan personally. I would eat the daylights out of it in a mole sauce, but raisins are going in. Those are going to kind of plump in the sauce. We had a can of diced tomatoes. That's going to add a little bit of body and some more acidity to our sauce because we do have some rich things that are going in it.
We buy lots and lots of diced tomatoes. That's for sure.
Great pantry staple this time. I know at least our Publix kind of put a limit on how much you could buy, but if you happen to stockpile, if you were smart enough to have a Costco membership in these times, that would be a good one to use and break out.
Oh, we got Kathleen O'Brien in the house.
Hey, Kathleen.
Sean Smith and Shannon Williams.
Hey, Sean, Shannon, nice to have you guys.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday indeed. So just kind of, we're letting everything, the bread, the tortillas, the onions, the whatever you guys want to use, can kind of hydrate in that, in the liquid from the tomatoes, from the salsa.
Oh, looks good.
Moles also have some type of nut element to them. The one that we would do would have peanuts, almonds, pecans, sesame seeds. We just had the random, like we've all had the spice, like, I bought sesame seeds for that one recipe. Did I want to make everything spice, some kind of a riff on an everything bagel. Mm-hmm. We had some sesame seeds. But really the easiest thing floating around, you guys would have peanut butter.
Yeah. John Barkel.
Hey, John.
He's had your mole before.
Well, this is not my mole. He's had
a mole.
The mole. This is just a bastardized version of it. But hey, it's what we got.
That's right.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I'm scooping out the jar here. This is really just meant to be the odds and the ends of everything we would kind of have gearing up for a grocery run on Monday.
Excuse me. Pardon me. It's like spicy. Sorry. Dying over here. I'm being a terrible camera person today. Sorry.
You're fired.
Fired? All right. Bring in someone else.
Bring in a new producer.
That's right. And they'll give you the corona.
That's right. So I've got some chicken broth. You can use water. You can use, keep it veggie friendly if you want to. Just kind of let that simmer for a little while before we add some of the remaining stuff.
That is the weirdest combination of ingredients I've ever seen in one pot. It almost looks like you're, I don't know, just making up something that I would never eat.
Well, you would have that option if you.
That's true.
if you didn't want to. Yeah. But yeah, this is kind of. I guess my brain was just wired for chopped altogether. It was one of those to where you kind of think about when you would do stuff. All right, if they give me cookies, what would I do with them? If I get vanilla wafers or something in a savory basket. And my mind kind of went towards either romesco sauce or even mole, if it got really weird and chocolatey and things like that.
Yeah. So Sean Smith says we should call it Mississippi Boy Mole.
I'm good with that.
Okay, and John Barkell says, I miss watching you cook. Thanks for doing this.
Oh man, thank you. I appreciate you tuning in all the time, John.
We miss you, John.
So this was kind of the idea of doing the mole also. Like, we needed to use our chicken thighs. And for anybody's out there who was with me during the Southern Kitchen days, which is a great team that we had assembled working in the AJC building, when you do things like putting together a website with recipes on them, and you want traffic, you end up doing you would buy email addresses and things, and so to kind of capture engagement. And so we would do that, and so what I ended up finding was with all the recipes that we would put up, you would just have the angriest people that would comment on, just rip everything to shreds without even trying it. And at first I was like, wow, you'd be perfect for working in the restaurant industry with all that cynicism. But then, as you'd start to make more, you just get more annoyed at some of these folks. And so I was going to do a chicken and dumplings. And then I thought back to how terrible some of that time was because, the style that I like to make had the drop dumplings that you kind of poach in the liquid. And then you get the kind of like, what? That ain't chicken and dumplings. You just want rolled dumplings, chicken, onion, and misery. That's all you get. And like, you ain't Southern. I'm like, I'm 7th generation Mississippian. Yes, I am. I like it with a few more F-bombs sprinkled in. But
I would say. Everybody has their own way of making certain things, like chicken salad and what should go in it, and everybody's just, I don't think there's one true recipe for a lot of these things.
No, I mean, it just depends on what part of the country you're in. I know a lot of the folks who are on the rolled dumplings probably, from the closer to Appalachia you get, or, if you're not around cities, you're kind of making the most of the least, and I get that, but at the same time, it became scarring enough to where, no more. So we had some chocolate chips.
Of course. There we go. That's an ingredient I recognize from mole. Parker Brown likes your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Says, where'd you get it? Good question.
Somewhere online. I think I originally got it from my dad because I know he's also a Caddyshack fan. And so I was like, if I'm getting one for him, I need one for me too.
Lee says misery is a very important ingredient in dumplings. Being from Memphis, she knows.
Yeah, that's right. So really this is kind of it. I mean, for just a quick one, I mean, no, this isn't gonna have super toasted all day cooked developed flavor. You could let this simmer for a while if you wanted to. I'm gonna puree this in a second and just put it over some chicken. But really, just if you got a blender, if you got a hand blender, if you got a food processor, want to work in batches, just be careful with it while it's still hot. But that's just kind of a quick way to make the most out of some of the least and our odds and ends that we may have floating around. I still haven't decided if I'm going to put this on some tacos or if I'm just going to make some rice and spread this on the chicken thighs and be good to go. We got some fun stuff coming up for you guys in the next couple of weeks because it looks like we're still going to be doing this and we're getting renewed for another season.
That's right. If you have any requests or questions about things in your pantry that you don't know what to do with, please post them online.
You're rehired.
Oh, yay! That's a good thing.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Please share, like, comment. Stay safe. Stay indoors. Wash your hands. See you guys.